Gi-Hun isn't the hero of Squid Game. He's the most dangerous player in the entire series, but nobody wants to say it. He manipulates, betrays, and sacrifices others in the name of justice. And it all started with one twisted decision he made in Season 2. Today, I'll be breaking down why Gi-Hun is the real villain of Squid Game, starting with the moment he became just like the people he swore to destroy. When Season 2 opens, Gi-Hun is not the same man who limped away from the Squid Game in Season 1. The red hair is gone, the broken, hollow stares replaced with something colder, more focused, and instead of escaping to see his daughter, he makes a different choice. He turns around. The plane takes off without him. Because now Gi-Hun isn't running from the game. He's hunting the people behind it. And 2 years later, that hunt leads him to a face he knows too well. The recruiter. The same man who smiled while slapping him across the face with a blue Dakshi tile in Season 1. The man who preyed on the poor, the desperate, the invisible. But this time, the game isn't played in a subway station with bystanders watching. This time, it's private and deadly. Inside a hidden base, Gi-Hun finally confronts him. The tension is immediate. The recruiter, smug and calm, casually admits to killing his own father in the military, without remorse. He calls people like his victims scum. It's not even personal to him, just a job. That's when Gi-Hun makes a choice that marks the beginning of his transformation. He agrees to play Russian roulette against the recruiter, not to extract information, not to get justice, but to beat him. They take turns. One bullet, one chamber. The gun clicks again and again until it doesn't. The recruiter dies instantly, and Gi-Hun just sits there. No panic, no guilt, no second guessing. He reaches down, calmly picks up the next Squid Game card and walks out, like nothing happened. And here's the terrifying part. He never had to pull the trigger. Gi-Hun could have arrested him, exposed him, called in Junho or his team, but he didn't. He played the game. And that moment right there, that was the turning point. That's when Gi-Hun stopped being the survivor and became something else. A player with nothing to lose. A man willing to kill, not to survive, but to win. He tells himself it's revenge, that he's doing it for the greater good. But from this point on, everything he does is about control. And this death? It wasn't justice. It was a message. One bullet in a quiet room said it all. Gi-Hun isn't here to stop the Squid Game. He's here to master it. But it gets worse from here. After the recruiter's death, Gi-Hun vanishes from sight. Not out of guilt, out of calculation. He's not shaken. He's focused. And when he finally re-enters the game in episode 3, it's not as a player clinging to survival, it's as a leader. He plays the part perfectly. Calm, reassuring, helping others during red light, green light, whispering tips, telling people how the game works. To the other players, he's a lifeline. But behind the curtain, Gi-Hun isn't saving anyone. He's consolidating power. He recruits Jung-Bai, connects with Jun-Hee, even welcomes player 001, frontman in disguise, into his inner circle. But no one sees what he's really doing. While they scramble to survive each game, Gi-Hun is already planning 2 steps ahead. How to control the vote, how to steer the group, how to shape the outcome. And it's not about justice anymore, it's about narrative. There's this quiet moment between him and Jung-Bai, where Jung-Bai asks if Gi-Hun truly believes he can get them all out. Gi-Hun doesn't answer, not because he doesn't know, because he does. He can't save them, but he needs them to believe he can. Because that belief, that blind faith, that's what keeps him in control. And the vote is where it all comes to the surface. After a brutal round, the game offers them a choice, stay or end it all. Gi-Hun steps forward. Just like in Season 1, he makes a dramatic plea, tells everyone they deserve better, that they still have a choice, that walking away is the right thing to do. It sounds noble, but he's not trying to lead them out. He's testing their loyalty. Gi-Hun knows how this plays out. He's watched desperation win before. He knows they'll vote to stay. So his speech? It's a trap. If they stay, he looks like the last good man in a sea of selfish cowards. The martyr, the moral compass. If they leave, he becomes the hero who stopped the game. Either way, he wins. And then, everything flips. The vote ties. One last player has the deciding vote. Everyone turns to Gi-Hun, waiting for another speech, but he says nothing. No rallying cry, no guidance, just silence. Because now he's not interested in saving lives. He's playing for the long game. He wants to be the one who decides what happens next. Not the system, not the players, and definitely not the game masters. And in that moment, Gi-Hun becomes exactly what he swore to destroy. A man who manipulates the rules. A man who lets others die in silence. A man who thinks control equals justice. He's not the hero of the story. He's the one rewriting it. Episode 7 doesn't build tension. It detonates it. After yet another failed vote to end the game, something dark spreads among the players. A quiet realization. If someone dies, the prize money increases. And just like that, the illusion of unity collapses. The dorm transforms overnight. What was once a place to sleep becomes a battlefield. People start whispering in corners, staring longer than they should, clutching makeshift weapons as they eat. Then, one player makes the first move, and blood hits the floor. That's all it takes. The massacre begins. Screams echo through the steel room. Players stab each other with forks, wires, anything they can find. Bunk beds topple. People hide under blankets like it's going to save them. Others suffocate in the dark, killed by people they trusted hours earlier. And where's Gi-Hun? He's hiding. But not to protect himself. He's watching, calculating. Earlier, Gi-Hun had convinced a group of peaceful players, mostly ex-voters, the ones who wanted out, to stay neutral. He told them not to fight, that the enemy was the system, not the people inside it. And they believed him. They looked at him like he was different, like he actually cared. But when the killing starts, he says nothing. He doesn't rally them, doesn't defend them. He lets the chaos happen. He lets them walk into it blind. By the time those players realize what's happening, it's already over. They're picked off one by one. And the ones who survive? Scarred, betrayed. Meanwhile, Gi-Hun survives, again. He waits out the slaughter, then emerges from the shadows, still carrying that quiet, worn-out look. Still pretending he's the voice of reason, but this time, that mask is slipping. Because the truth is loud now. The people who followed him, they're dead. He didn't save them. He used them as a buffer. And when he sees how bad things have gotten, when he sees the blood and the fear in what's left of the group, he makes one last desperate move. He starts a riot. It's fast, brutal, loud. He and the remaining players ambush the guards. They steal guns, take hostages. They even get a soldier to lead them toward the control room. And for one fleeting moment, it feels like victory, like Gi-Hun might actually do it. But it's all built on desperation. Dae-ho, the one tasked with bringing extra ammunition, freezes in fear, never comes back. The group runs out of bullets, and when they hit a dead end, more guards storm in with rifles. The rebellion dies mid-run. Then comes the final blow. Player 001 pulls a gun and opens fire on his own teammates. 2 players go down instantly. The rest surrender, defeated. Number and Gi-Hun? He watches it all happen. He watches Jung-bae, his last real ally, get dragged in front of him and executed on the spot by In-ho, the man who once shared a rooftop drink with him, the man who stood by his side in Season 1, now wearing a black mask, now the front man. And in that moment, the truth is undeniable. Gi-Hun's plan is dead. His leadership is a lie, his revolution, a failure. He didn't outsmart the game. He became one of its most dangerous pieces. He didn't save anyone. He led them to the edge and let them fall. And for the first time, we see Gi-Hun with nothing left to pretend. Not a hero, not a rebel, just another player, willing to gamble lives for a victory that was never his to begin with. Gi-Hun was never supposed to be the villain. He was the survivor, the lucky one. The man who walked out of the first Squid Game not as a killer, but as a broken human being. Someone who looked the system in the eye and chose not to become it. He won without pulling the trigger. He swore he'd expose it, end it, that no one else would ever have to live through what he did. That's the story we told ourselves. That's the lie he told himself. But Season 2 tears it all down. Gi-Hun didn't come back to stop the game. He came back to master it, to rewrite the rules, with him at the center. Not a player, not a pawn. The savior, the symbol, the one who finally beats the system on his own terms. But here's the price of that delusion. Woo-seok, dead. No Yule, used. Jung-bae, executed. And every other innocent person who followed him, people who believed in his speeches, his strategy, his promise, they all got dragged into the fire. Because Gi-Hun didn't pull them out. He pulled them in. And the deeper he went, the more he resembled the very thing he claimed to hate. When he finally comes face to face with In-ho, his old friend, now fully masked as the front man, it should have been a reckoning. Good versus evil. The hero confronts the villain, but it's not. It's 2 men staring into a mirror. In-ho doesn't gloat. He doesn't monologue. He just pulls the trigger. Cold, clean, efficient. Jung-bae's body hits the floor. And Gi-Hun, he doesn't scream. He doesn't lunge. He just stands there, silent. Because deep down, he knows this isn't injustice. It's a consequence. His plan didn't fail because it was outnumbered. It failed because it was never about saving anyone. It was about winning, while pretending not to play. And when everything crumbles, he doesn't take the blame. He doesn't own what he's done. He just watches, like he always does, detached, alone. And that's the final twist of Squid Game. Gi-Hun isn't the underdog anymore. He's not the man who escaped hell. He's the one who dragged others into it and called it salvation. He used morality as a weapon. He built trust like a trap. And when it all came crashing down, the mask slipped. And there was nothing behind it. So when the season ends and Gi-Hun's fate is left unanswered, alive, dead, or something in between, it doesn't matter. Because the real question isn't what happens to him. It's whether he'll ever stop lying, and not to us, to himself. Because Gi-Hun was never trying to save anyone. He just wanted to win.